So I said I would spend October talking about horror movies, and the timer has finally counted down to 0. Depending on when you're watching this is either Halloween Eve or Halloween morning. And welcome back to the heart of the stories we tell, a series where I spend way too much time thinking about what makes a story. And today's episode is Why Do We Tell Horror Stories? Final wrap up the October Halloween countdown. I've said it before, and stories are a way of looking into the soul, not just of an individual writer, but of the community overall. I think if you look at how stories have evolved, how horror stories especially have, you'll see how the zeitgeist of individual generations have changed. So, why do we tell these stories? For a couple of reasons. We do it for the fact that we can then tell people the monsters have been beaten. We do it so we can look inside the monsters that we have ourselves, our fear we have become. We do it because we want to look at the horror of the situation, the inevitableness of the darkness. We want to look into the abyss without the fear of that abyss being so real that it looks back into us. And then, of course, it's just for fun, the roller coaster effect. And we don't just do this as adults. We've been doing this all along as kids. There's a lot to unpack here, but let's get started at trying to make some sense of all of these episodes. We started this adventure with Five Nights at Freddy's, with jump scares and with ingrained truths that would scare you in the long term, with a horror story that goes all too realistic because it was probably based on some realism. And then we jumped to very unrealistic horror in Lovecraft, and the idea of an entire mythos, an entire alien concept, so alien it would drive you insane. The cosmic force that can't be beat, the cosmic horror. Then we jump to a more close horror, a new type of story, YouTube videos that were with love, care, and skill, but not necessarily a budget. And then we went on to the end times, the apocalypse of Revelations, the end of everything, the horror that is Armageddon. But tonight, the end isn't just near, the end is here. For you see, we've reached Halloween, and now we need to put this all together. My understanding is that Halloween started out as Samhain. If you know any Wiccans, they may be able to enlighten you a little more about it. The beginning of the dark half of the year. If you've ever watched the Doctor Who Christmas specials, one of them even has the fact that Christmas is halfway out of the dark. And of course, Halloween and Christmas have something else major in common. Where they were once spiritual, religious observations, they're now more about the kids and about the stores and about commercialism. That's not to say I don't love Halloween. I do. But between movies, TV shows, Halloween specials, and candy at the store, boy do they know how to sell it to us. Well, maybe they don't, because you know what I don't see a lot of this year? Rated R horror movies. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we all really want? That really horrifying story, that really great new take on Halloween, or Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street, or my personal favorite, a brand new idea, a movie like them but is new. But those aren't what's coming out right now. So where does that leave us with horror stories? I wonder if down in the comments you could tell me. Are you buying new video games, reading classic books, rewatching those movies on Blu-ray? Personally, I think that we're getting back to the old campfire. Let me explain. YouTube is our digital campfire. And as we sit around it and tell our scary stories, you can just search creepypasta and find 100,000 videos that could send a chill right up your spine this Halloween. Or maybe you'd prefer to go take a quick look at Steam and see what the new hot download is for a horror survival game. Five Nights at Freddy's was awesome, but maybe you'll find the next big thing. Or maybe none of this matters because those horsemen are saddling up and the Mayan calendar didn't take leap year into effect and was a few years late. Who knows? But to all of you out there that are trying to write these next stories, be they video games, movies, books, TV shows, I have one word for you. Pacing. Because that's what's bringing this all together. Pacing. Other than being grouped in the genre of horror, do these three stories have anything in common? Well, yes, they do. And they have something in common with this roller coaster that I used to describe one of their effects. What they have in common is how they're paced. Because at the end of the day, too many really fast highs, too many scares, and the book becomes just unreadable. You no longer are scared of something because it's just become the new common. On the other hand, too many lull points, and it just is slow and boring, and no one wants to go on that roller coaster with you. So now think back to the last time you were on that roller coaster. You moved forward a little bit with a lurch, and then it started climbing. That climb is the build of the initial dread. And then the fall, whoosh, as you hit that first downward spiral. And when you hit that, the adrenaline rush hits you. And then what happened? Did you immediately climb back up with another Probably not, because they wanted to keep things moving. You probably went into a secondary type of thing. They mixed it up. Actually, those roller coaster engineers and those writers, I hope this series is giving your brain some candy for Halloween. You know, food for thought. And at the same time, I hope that you have a happy and safe Halloween. Because the true horror stories aren't the ones that we tell in movies and TV shows, but the ones that we tell on the nightly news. And even though they're not sponsoring me, I do want to remind you, CZ's World is full of YouTube videos that could give you little scares tonight, and Crossroads Press has a selection of books you can download directly to electronic devices if you're looking for some last-minute Halloween horror. Now, as for me, I'm going to go work on a genre video and hand out some candy to the kids that come knocking at the door. So, if you liked this video, for now, I need you to like, subscribe, and share this video so that we can grow this community, and then join me back here next time as we take a walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.